Hello everyone, my name is Gaspin. I am a relatively new YouTuber, but I want to make commentary videos, sorry. So yeah, uh, anyways, today I wanted to start my channel off with this one video. A game reviewer I think is very boring and repetitive. He's just boring to watch all in general, like, extremely boring. Like, if you don't know who Synthetic Man is, oh yeah, by the way, that's his name, Synthetic Man. Good, good, just good. Okay, yeah, that's good. Don't even bother looking him up at this point because he's a very boring person to watch. Okay, he's very boring to watch. But anyways, I just wanted to say how I think this guy is extremely stupid, and yeah, he's basically just very boring to watch. Now, if you don't know what he does, his channel is basically to hate on games. What, did you think there was something else? No, it's his whole channel, hating on video games. Nothing else other than hating on video games. Now, sorry, excuse me. Now, if you don't know what, you're probably wondering, why does that matter? Well, it's every video of his. Like, I'm gonna scroll through his whole channel right now and show you, like, how bad it is. It's bad. Look, like, this is literally all of his videos. This isn't even all of them, but this is most of, like, what his whole channel is about. So, and also, yeah, everyone has their own opinions on video games. He does not like one game. I have not seen him say he likes one of the game he covers. Well, besides Resident Evil Requiem, he did say he liked Resident Evil Requiem. But then he made a video about how much he just hates the game. What? Anyways, now you're probably wondering, why is there a problem with this? Well, this is the thing I say about many YouTubers. When your whole brand is just one thing, because many YouTubers do different things. Like Moist Critical does both commentary and he does gaming, of course. Now, most people stick with their things, but they do it in a likable way, though. That's my problem. He doesn't do it in a likable way. And any chance, like, he's just annoying to listen to, and you know, his whole brand is hitting on video games, and when you hate on so much things that you don't like, people will lose interest. Now, sure, his channel still racks up thousands of views. In fact, I think he's got like at least I don't know, like maybe 10 million views or something. I don't know. I'll throw it up on screen when I'm done editing. But other than that, he's just an extremely boring person to look up. Now, don't get me wrong, some of his reviews are absolutely necessary, but most of them are pretty bad and pretty dumb hot takes. So, you know, I'm gonna just be covering him. Anyways, here is my blind reaction of his High on Life 2 videos, and I love High on Life 2, so like, yeah, whatever. Are y'all ready for me to react to Peak? Hold on. Yep. Sorry.
Let me handle this. Gwendolyn, leave my family alone. Never mind, it didn't work.
Stand down, Tom. This is a job for my new husband. My hero. Oh, that really took it out of you, didn't it, baby? Let's get you home to an Epsom salt bath.
Oh, who am I kidding? You two make a great team, honey.
I know I review a lot of vile and utterly repulsive video games on this channel, but I think High on Life 2 really takes the cake. I know I just said this in my Outer Worlds 2 review, but I think this is another one of the most disgusting video games I have ever played. And it's also another massive flop to the surprise of no one. Now, believe it or not, I actually did play the
Is that not the point of the fucking game? Like, excuse me, is that not the point of the game? I could have sworn that was the whole point of the game. Bro.
first High on Life, but I didn't review it at the time. I can't remember if it was out of laziness or maybe I just didn't think it was interesting enough to cover. Because truth be told, the first game is actually not that bad. Yes, it was horrifically unfunny. I mean, it's a Justin Roiland game. Think Rick and Morty Season 3 onward type humor. I think I only laughed 3 times over the course of the entire game, and 2 out of 3 of those times were effectively the same joke, where I could just kill an NPC that seemed like it was essential. And the third one was just a mentally handicapped character doing a funny voice, which gets me every time. But ultimately, I would say the game is just
Whoa. Why do people even make jokes like that? I don't get it. First of all, wow. Okay, that is a wild thing to say. Character or not, that's a wild thing to say. Whatever. We'll just go on.
And I really mean that literally because I couldn't remember 90% of it despite it coming out just a few years ago. But High on Life 2, oh god, this thing is so horrific it's unreal. On the one hand, it is actually slightly funnier than the first game. Now you could argue it throws twice as many shitty jokes at you, so of course maybe a few more are going to land. But it also has way worse jokes and just utterly repulsive, disgusting shit. In the beginning of the game, your mother cheats on your dad with one of the Gatlians, the mentally handicapped one, by the way, and later it's introduced to you you actually have a half-brother who is also retarded and can only say one word, and he looks like a disgusting abomination. This is what they want for the future of the human race.
I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with that. Whatever, let's hear him out. Maybe Synthetic Man will start... Maybe Synthetic Man will start cooking. Like, let's give it to Synthetic Man. Maybe he'll start cooking. Hold on.
You're just rubbing it in your face as if it's a joke. Neither your character nor your sister treats this as anything weird. You never try to shame your mother for cheating on your father at any point. Your dad goes through an entire mission that is a glorified humiliation ritual. And at no point is it ever treated like the mom is the bad guy. I was seething with rage at multiple points in this game, though most of the time I was honestly just bored. Ironically, I think the biggest downgrade between this game and the first one is that this is way more of a movie game. Believe it or not, High on Life 1 actually had some sort of light Metroidvania elements. You had a real reason to come back to levels, there was a sort of semi-linearity to things with like these little sandboxes. In the sequel, every single mission is a linear hallway just broken up by really basic puzzles. There's definitely more cutscenes than there is gameplay, and just like the first...
No, there's not. No, there's not. No, there's not. That's a lie. No, there's not. Yeah, I played this game. I've gotten a shit ton of gameplay from this game, more than I got cutscenes. So that's already bullshit. Whatever. Maybe Synthetic Man will start cooking real soon. Like, I'm gonna give it to Synthetic Man. You guys trust the Synthetic Man, right? Right. Also, it's raining. My mic kind of sounds like shit. So, like, sorry about that. I'll try to do that in editing.
Most of the content of these cutscenes are basically a series of rejected comedy skits from SNL, or maybe more appropriately, Rick and Morty, which is ironic given Justin Roiland resigned from his own studio he created because of the sexual assault allegations or whatever the hell they were, which makes you question where the funding for this game even came from, because this is self-published. I was under the belief that Microsoft published this game, given that it is a day one Game Pass game. But no, officially, this is an indie game, if you want to go by that definition anyway. Yes, this was developed and published by Squanch Games. Now, there's no doubt that Microsoft paid for a lot of this game's development.
Or did you get it for free with some deal? One of those game services, huh? I bet you're playing it on one of those game services. That's money out of our pockets, I'll have you know. I mean, yeah, they pay us a lot to put it on those things, like millions sometimes, but still.
And I think it's pretty obvious to anyone who's a noticer here where the rest of that money came from. from, there sure are a lot of early life sections you can read on the developers involved with this game. One of the most interesting ones is the lead narrative designer, Alec Robbins, who apparently created an award-winning webcomic where his self-insert character dates Betty Boop. I wish I was making this shit up. So
Okay. Alright, yeah, it's actually kind of funny.
of course, you can expect a lot of the types of disgusting humor that God's chosen people love to put in their art. I think you know exactly what to expect based on that description, and I'll try to include some of the most notable clips in this review. Oh, and I feel like I've said more than enough things to make nobody with any sanity want to try this game, but I definitely...
Shut the fuck up. Like, shut the fuck up, please. Like, he's pissing me off already. I'm getting pissed off. Is this Rage Bait? He might be a Rage Bait channel.
I think it's worth mentioning that I also got a game-breaking bug within 30 minutes of the end of the game. Yeah, so I got hard locked out of fighting the final boss and had to watch the ending on YouTube. Alright, that's more than enough preamble. Let's get into the review. Before I get into High on Life 2, I'll briefly explain what High on...
No, we're not doing that. We're not fucking doing that.
Brief intro that shows how you end up losing all of your money, your fame, and even a wife of your choice. Of course, the 3 alien women you have to choose from look grotesque, and they ultimately just leave you anyway.
No, so what? So what? They're aliens. Like, so what? Damn, what did you expect? What did you expect, really? Yo, I know this video is not gonna get, like, the views and, like, stuff it will, but God, I hope this goes viral.
Just another unfunny gag. Speaking of which, this is where you learn that your mother cheated on your father with "Let's do it," the BFG from the first game. And as I already spoiled in the intro, this becomes important later. You also get to see that your dad is living in an apartment by himself with like no furniture, so obviously your mom took everything. Isn't that funny? And this whole sequence ends with you back at your house from the first game, which you learn is now inside a museum dedicated to all of your accomplishments from the first game, since you're a celebrity. Now, there's gonna be many plot points in this game that are gonna make you ask, what the fuck? How does that make any sense? And of course, that's the joke. There is no explanation. You just canonically live in a museum in space.
How does it make sense? Alright, I'm pretty sure it is very obvious that, you know, Bounty Hunter chose it. If he wanted to, he could. He's undeniably the most famous man in his entire universe. Or, like, in space, basically. Because, he was the most famous person in space. Kind of. Yeah, he kind of was. In a way, it's ridiculous, but at the same time, it's not, and it's actually kind of cool. Because, like, you know, he does travel the galaxy. It's also a ship, too, as proven in the end of the game, where it's proven it's a ship. So, yeah. Well, maybe he was going to get to that. I might be judging him, so let's go on.
This is when the plot already gets stupid pretty fast, as you quickly find out all of your efforts in the first game were a waste of time, because instead of it being the G3 cartel that wants to turn humans into drugs, it's now Big Pharma. A company called Rhea Pharmaceuticals wants to argue in intergalactic space court that humans are too stupid to deserve rights, and so they want to pass a law so that they can legally turn humans into drugs for the benefit of all the other alien races. So basically all of the adrenochrome conspiracy theories are being confirmed true. You learn that your sister has become a freedom fighter, aka a terrorist, and so you have to rescue her from the human exhibit at the zoo. So already this is a pretty obvious plot hole. If it hasn't been ruled yet that humans don't deserve rights, how the hell is there a human zoo in the first place? In any case, you quickly track her down, and one of the only funny moments in the game happens.
Get lost. I can handle this myself.
Whoa, what's with the attitude?
Sorry, she's been through a lot.
Been through a lot.
Well, you've been partying.
What do you
and
mean
going on talk
years?
shows. I've been
How
trying
long
to
has
save
it been?
humanity.
Huh? I thought humans were already safe.
5 years.
What did we miss? There she is. We've got her cornered.
Yeah, shoot her.
Oh, shit.
She was a bitch to me, so she just... Oh! Oh!
Whoa.
Bruh, I don't want
I just built a budgeting app in Base 44.
I don't
Guys,
care. I'm trying to
Peter
watch
just
my
built an
favorite
app.
YouTuber ever. Like,
Oh!
trying to watch Pete.
As much as I would have liked to quit the game right
Whoa, okay. He seemed very enthusiastic about killing a woman. Wow. Let's keep watching.
there, well, obviously I need to put out some content, so I decided to play the rest for the sake of this review. So you end up betraying the Bounty Hunter League or whatever the hell, and you end up fighting some goons and eventually a ripoff of Gex. I'm going to very briefly touch on the combat here, and then I'll talk about it one more time later in the video, but all you need to know about the first half of the game's combat is that it's incredibly basic and very similar to the first one. Every gun has 3 different functions, which sounds pretty good on paper, but in practice it doesn't matter that much. Because every gun in the game roughly has the same DPS, there's very little progression. So it doesn't really matter if you want to use the submachine gun, or the shotgun, or the rifle, or the bow. Ultimately, they all just kind of do the same thing. Now, the secondary function of the gun can sometimes be useful, like Sweezy can shoot an impaling spike, Gus can suck enemies toward him, which makes it easier to use a shotgun blast. But a few of the guns just aim with right click and don't even really have a second function. And then the third function, the trick hole, is the special ability, and later in the game this will completely dominate the combat because obviously, since you have unlimited ammo in this game, the trick hole cooldown is the only ammo management in the...
Okay, he doesn't exactly say that's a problem, but I don't get why he would bring that up either, because they're not regular guns, they're aliens. But he didn't really like make a big issue out of it, so I guess I'll let him pass on that one.
game. You can optionally use a soda to instantly recharge the special ability of each gun, but once you get enough guns, you can actually just cycle through the cooldowns by switching weapons. The combat is incredibly simplistic in this game. You basically just point and shoot at guys, and it doesn't really matter who you're shooting at. Yes, there's some enemies that fly. There's an enemy that can split into 2 smaller enemies once you defeat him. But at the end of the day, they all do the same thing. They just shoot projectiles at you while you ride around on a skateboard super fast and just dodge everything. The combat never gets more complex. You just...
Okay, why is that a problem? Don't enemies in Halo do the same thing? Call of Duty, what? Isn't that like the thing of most games? Like, realistically, if one person has a gun, you're gonna bring a gun too. So, what? Does that... Alright, oh, wait, I forgot, yeah. Synthetic Man is God, so I gotta listen to him. Yeah.
get more tools. That's it. It is perfectly serviceable. It's not bad. But like I said, I'm not going to really talk about it in detail. As for the bosses, all of these are the same. They're just a damage sponge. You just hold left click on, use your special abilities, and then occasionally they get stunned and you stab them with knifey. I honestly couldn't tell you about any unique mechanics any of the bosses have. At most, you might have to parry one of their attacks with melee. That's it. Back to the story, you defeat Gex, but he lives. Even after decapitating him, he can just grow his head back. But you manage to escape and make your way to the...
Wait. Excuse me, but if I'm not mistaken, Senator Muppy Dude literally makes you go inside your menu just to beat him, and you get to play Bible tales or Bible stories. I don't know. But I could have sworn that happens in the game, you know. I could have sworn it does. It's not. Wow.
Human exhibit. There you meet what is basically a discount Ryan Gosling and pet him. Yes, really. And eventually make your way to the basement of the veterinary office, which turns out to be a secret lab for Rhea Pharmaceuticals. There, a nerd emoji explains that they're refining humans into a pill called Humanza Pro that they want to sell to everyone. Then you fight Gex one more time. He's convinced he's actually the baddie. Yes, they literally do the fucking meme. I can't believe this shit. And so you and your sister escape.
That's logic. It's video game logic. What's wrong with video game logic? He didn't say it was a bad thing, so again, I could pass on that. But the way he said it makes it sound like a bad thing that there's video game logic in a video game. Actually, no, not even that. Real life logic at that. When you realize something bad has happened to other people and they're trying to stop that from happening to someone else, and you're trying to stop it, is it not logical for you to say, oh crap, you're just trying to do something good and I'm stopping you? Like, that's basically what it was. Like, he keeps calling him like this Vector. I'm gonna look him up after I'm done with this, before I start scripting. Or who knows, maybe like by the time I finish reacting to this, I finish, god damn it. I'm obviously gonna be finished editing by the time I finish this, so like, whatever.
And you take up a new base of operations inside what looks like a 90s arcade. What ends up being an important plot point
It is a 90s arcade. What's the point?
later is the gang ditches your old bounty suit because the OS was starting to turn against you. I guess it was hooked up to the bounty hunter network so that when you betrayed them, the suit was supposed to freeze you so you could be apprehended. And so they just copied the suit data into this shitty looking ski suit. Now you might be wondering, what is the...
Whoa, what? Shitty looking ski bro.
ultimate plan to prevent Rhea Pharmaceuticals from winning in court and removing all rights from humans. The ultimate goal, and I swear I am not embellishing this even slightly, is to kill billionaires and celebrities and pharmaceutical reps until the
Let me make this clear. I don't know how to explain this to him. Oh my god, my phone's dying. I gotta hurry this up. But I don't know if you knew this about the game, but each one of them bears an important role into, like, you know, Rhea Pharmaceuticals and the human pill shit. I don't know if you knew that. But it's pretty obvious throughout the game, as it's said right before you have to press that bounty and go to where that bounty is. It's Synthetic Man, we got listen to Synthetic Man, am I right? Everybody, Synthetic Man is powerful. Shoots lasers out of his eyes. Matter of fact, I'm gonna edit that in the game. I'm gonna edit that in the video while I'm editing. So, it's whatever.
company can't show up for court. It is literally the fucking socialist meme of just eat the rich and that'll solve your problems. Yes, humans psychotically murdering hundreds of people, including rich, prominent celebrities, is going to convince the intergalactic government that humans deserve rights. Does that make sense to anyone with a functioning brain? Yeah, just act like a horde of wild.
It's a video game. It's supposed to be funny. It's not supposed to make sense. What? It's brain dead.
Ends. That'll convince people to sympathize with you. I think it's pretty obvious what the allegory is here, who the humans are supposed to represent. I say this without exaggeration. This might be the most retarded plot in video game history. Now,
that's the point. It's literally the point. What? Like, this guy paid attention to none of the game, and I know he didn't because he's saying stupid shit. Obviously, the game doesn't take itself seriously, so why would anything in the game realistically be serious at all? Be for real, bro. Like,
Of course, the common defense for such a stupid plot would just be, why are you taking it seriously? It's obviously satire. Okay, but if I'm not taking anything seriously, why would I play this game? Why would I care about anything happening? Why would this game...
don't. Simple as that, don't. Don't care. No one cares if you don't care. Like, because that's all this review has been. Why should I care? Why should I care? Why should I care? Don't.
waste countless hours of my time with unskippable cutscenes. I have to listen to failed comedians' comedy.
Okay. The cutscenes are short, first of all. They keep the cutscenes short. Okay, you get more gameplay than you do cutscenes. So, like, just... Also, you can walk away from them. I hope you know that. Well, some of them you can't, but most of them you can actually walk away from. Well, no, I think that's only NPCs. No, he got me there. Alright. I'll give him that one.
Sketches every 5 fucking minutes, and I'm not supposed to take any of this seriously. It's not funny. This is just a torture session. Again, Game Pass. What a absolutely colossal steaming pile of shit. Honestly, since I had barely remembered the first game, I wasn't sure how much worse this one was, but as I was going back through a walkthrough to get some of the footage for this review, I realized just how much worse this game is, even just as a game. The first game had proper levels with actual exploration and secrets. It wasn't a fucking movie game. Yes, it had a bunch of terrible jokes just like this one, but it still felt like a video game at its core. This is a fucking movie game. Or maybe even more accurately, a TV show game. It feels almost episodic.
Wow, is that literally not the point? Because it was supposed to be like Rick and Morty? Pretty sure it's not the tagline, but I'm pretty sure that's what most people thought the tagline was. I don't know. Synthetic Man can't go wrong. Can't disrespect Synthetic Man.
It wasn't sold as an episodic experience, but every single quest feels like a one-off Monster of the Week villain in a Saturday morning cartoon. Or actually, more accurately, a really shitty Adult Swim animated cartoon.
Hold on. No, that was the point. That was the point, Synthetic Man. That was the point. That's the whole point of the game. Shitty Adult Swim episode. And did it work? Yes, absolutely. It worked. It worked like a champ. It worked perfectly.
I think at the end of the day, you just have to ask yourself if you want to play the video game version of Rick and Morty Season 6, or whatever the hell they're on now. This is easily one of the worst games I've ever played in my life. The only redeeming aspect is the combat, and even then, it is so incredibly basic, I can't even really call it fun. It gets tiring shooting the same, 4 enemy types throughout the whole game. And despite only being 10 hours long, it felt incredibly padded out. Out of those 10 hours, probably only 3 hours were actual gameplay, and the rest were glorified cutscenes. It's no surprise to me.
Where does he get this stuff? Where does he get this? Where did you get this? I have over I think close to 50 hours on this game. No, there's more gameplay than there is cutscenes, and I know there is. I played this game many a times. I 100%ed it. Come on, bro.
That this game bombed horribly. It only had 3,000 peak players on Steam or some shit. This is just another incredibly repulsive game, a lot like Outer Worlds 2. But at least this one had aliens, but even the aliens are just these goofball Rick and Morty reject cartoon characters, so...
That's the point.
It's not like you can take anything seriously. It's sad because if you...
Don't!
Strip stripped away most of the dialogue and maybe fixed up the level design a little bit, there's actually a decent game buried really deep in here, but I can't see any reason anyone would want to play this over a genuine FPS. And if you want to play a comedic game, you're just going to play Conker's Bad Fur Day. There's so few actually funny video games that I have to pull an example from 30 years ago. Honestly, maybe a better comparison would be Postal 2, because this game certainly made me want to go Postal, in Minecraft, of course. But yeah, that's a game where you can just kill whoever you want and everything is kind of ridiculous and over the top. And if you just want a raw shooter with similar movement mechanics to this, like I said earlier, Echo Point Nova is a great one. Yeah, I honestly don't have too much more to say about this game. Despite it being so utterly painful to play, I feel like just like the first game, I'm going to forget about 80% of this in a week. So I can only hope that Squanch Games gets shut down and all these developers go homeless in Minecraft, of course. I would never wish that upon any human being. But given that somehow this game got funded to be made in the first place, despite no one giving a single fuck about High on Life 1, I don't have my hopes up. I think somehow the people involved...
It is very weird that you say that, because I think High on Life 1 actually sits at, like, what, a 4.50 on PlayStation, like, mostly positive on Steam. I'm pretty sure... I'm going to pull up a thing, I'll see. Yeah, I think it has, like, mostly positive reviews on Steam, and many people still play it. I have a friend that still plays High on Life. Actually, I think almost nearly all of my friends still play High on Life 1. It's genuinely an enjoyable game with an enjoyable story. And High on Life 2 is the same thing. It's just funnier. It takes itself more seriously. In a way, it doesn't, but it does at the same time. So, yeah, that's basically it. I'm going to hand it back to the editor, me. Whatever. Yeah, so overall, a pretty shitty review. This is Synthetic Fan. This is basically all of his videos. Same shit, same thing. Like, it's whatever. But yeah, anyways, all I wanted to say is Synthetic Man is dumb, and I think that you should stop watching him if you did.
Long time no see.
Stop, bro. Just stop. But, anyways, that's my first video as Gasman, and see you later. Love you.